everybody? Welcome back to Just Not in the Mood. Today, we are going to see a different side of me. The bookworm side. I don't wear these glasses for just accessories, guys. Actually, it's a law that I wear these glasses, but definitely needed when I read books. Today, we're going to be talking about a new book that I read. Okay, so if you guys follow me on my Instagram and everything, which you totally should, it's just literally my name, Rashida Makeda. Right, we're gonna, insert that here, Rashida Makeda. You guys have known that I try to get new books and try to really dive into different authors for different backgrounds and different demographics other than myself, but I also love to support Black women and Black men when it comes to our literature. And so this is one of those books today. So today we're going to be talking about Elevator Pitch by Evelyn Leigh. I think that's how you say her name. If I mispronounce your name, I'm so sorry. Please don't come for me and don't cancel me. I love your book though. Hey, let's just really just dive into it. You know what I'm saying? You know when you just get a good book and you can't put it down and you just keep reading it for hours and you look up and it's literally 6 a.m. and you're like, I have to go to work at 7. That's how this book had me. I literally had to shut the book so many times because I was kicking and screaming into my pillow. Also reminded me of how painfully single I am, and I hate it. Ugh, but it's fine. Something you also should know about me, some of my favorite tropes in books. I love enemies to lovers, fake dating, all those kinds of tropes. One of the things that I hate the most is slow burn and friends to lovers. Can I just say that? I hate it. I hate it so much, and I'm not gonna compromise on it. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. But this book is a slow burn. But here, hey, people are allowed to change their opinions, okay? People are allowed to change. Can I say it made me have a better appreciation for slow burn, okay? But we'll get into it. Elevator Pitch is about Selah. There's two different pronunciations. I don't really know which one it is, but I'm gonna go with Selah, right? Selah is her occupation, she is one of the creatives at a music streaming company. She's about to turn 30 and she feels that she is not ready for that. She feels like she hasn't met those milestones in her life yet. And off the bat, I was like, I feel you, girl. I think a lot of days, especially young women, we are being pushed by so many different factors in our life to really dive into stuff that we're not ready for, or we feel like we're behind from all the other people that are in our lives because they've accomplished this and they've accomplished this and they've done this, but I haven't done any of those things. It's okay. It's okay to be a late bloomer, if you will. Go at your own pace, And so Selah, thinking that she is behind, creates a list for herself and that she's like, these are all the things that I have to accomplish before I turn 30. And then she meets Mr. Park. She meets Grayson Park. I love him, okay? Grayson Park is a CEO. He created this dating app called Soul Blend. Lord have mercy. He thinks that he's a modern day matchmaker. It's funny because he literally is a divorcee, but yet he's helping people find their match in life. So it's also interracial love, which I also love. I love when two people from different walks of life and cultures can come together and create a cohesive, loving relationship. No relationship is without trials and tribulations, but being able to overcome adversity is amazing. So, and not be a statistic. Hey, no statistics. So off the bat, the first things that caught my eye from this book was just the fact that Selah, she's in therapy. Now look, it gets very dicey. It gets real dicey when it comes to portraying mental health, and it could be not accurate. And of course, mental health looks different in everybody, but Selah specifically, she has ADHD. And she has extreme anxiety.
Now I'm panicking. Don't panic. No, I am.
And she's also recovering from PTSD because she was in an abusive relationship. Now, those are all very loaded. All of those things. Those are very, very important things that she has going on in her life that pretty much take over every aspect of her life. For example, with her abusive relationship that she got out of, she has nightmares, right? And those are things that people don't really talk about a lot. If you have PTSD, you're gonna have nightmares. You're going to have sometimes where things are triggering you constantly. And especially if you're trying to get into a new relationship, that is a hard thing. So I love the way that Evelyn was able to portray that, because, and it wasn't just, oh, you know how like a lot of authors, they'll just mention a problem and then it's never brought up the rest of the book. No. This is an overarching theme. It was mentioned throughout, and you can see Sela's journey trying to get into relationships and things like that, and how that affects her relationship with her parent, her relationship with her friends, affects her relationships with her potential partners. It is an overarching theme, and you see it throughout the entire book. And if you relate to that, you'll be able to be like, yeah, that's how it is. And then ADHD, especially in women, a lot of times ADHD, autism, all of those things go undiagnosed for a long time because it shows up differently in women, and that's also portrayed. And also, how are you able to work in these kind of environments, in a fast-paced environment, because they're in New York, right? New York can be already overstimulating. And how are you able to control whatever is going on with you, especially with ADHD, being able to be a functioning human being? How the people in your life can really show up for you when you know you're not having the best day, or it's a little bit harder for you. I just thought that our author was able to really hit the nail on the head for sure. Another thing that I truly loved was the fact that we had so many diverse characters in this book. And y'all let me know, because I know I do this, but a lot of times when we get a character that doesn't necessarily feel like you identify with that character, I just change the descriptions in my head. I'm like, all of a sudden, Katniss is me. You could take the character at face value, but specifically for this book, it is a black woman. That is the character. She's also a plus-size black woman. And I was like, okay, look at us. We're growing as a population, as a human race. I love it. And then we have not the typical romantic partner, which I think is stupid. I think everybody deserves to be in a spot where they feel desired, where they feel loved. Her partner in this book, he's Korean. He's Korean American specifically. It's mentioned that yes, Sela is black. It is mentioned that yes, Grayson is a Korean American, but it's not in your face like those disgusting descriptions, you know what I'm talking about, when they're like, oh my god, her beautiful chocolate mocha cappuccino skin, like, ew, or his milky white skin. What are you talking about? Stop it.
Get some help.
It's not okay. Then it's mentioned different parts about their cultures and how he celebrates a Korean holiday, and how she's able to talk more about black music and black culture, and being able to cook their specific dishes for each other. And after that, it's not really mentioned. Like, it's the diversity is there, but it's not in your face where they're like shoving it down your throat. Like, imagine not being fetishized in life. Like, wow. I find it that so many women specifically, and women of color, were like fetishized in life. It makes us feel like we're not desired other than for our bodies. Like, for what? Like, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Get it together. But I loved how in this book, it was the exact opposite. Grayson wanted her for who she was, her flaws and all. We want more. Thank you. One of the things that had me giggling in my seat was the first little scene, and this is a spoiler if you haven't read it. But the first scene where Sela and Grayson first meet, which is why it's called elevator pitch. They're in the same apartment complex as each other, and they get in the elevator, and Sela hiding into herself and not really wanting to make a conversation with Grayson. Grayson automatically is like, oh my god, this girl is the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my entire life. I need to talk to her. But she's not looking up. She's not looking up from her nook, you know, her e-reader. She's like, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him, even though he's fine. I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him. And he's like, hey girl. He literally interrupts her and is like, you're gonna talk to me. What's up? How are you? And she's like, ew, what do you mean? But he continues to keep going. He goes after her. Oh my god, guys. And he's like, I'm gonna do that chase. We're gonna do this. Well, the reason why I love that is because we have this connotation that black women are not approachable. Why? I don't really know. Or that we're scary or things like that. No, we're not. Come say hi. It's okay. Hey, come say hi. Even though she was going through therapy and she's trying to find coping mechanisms, we all have some times where we relapse and we go back into ourselves. But Grayson was that person that said no. Not around here, partner. Not around here. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yes, go approach that girl. Go get what you want in life. I wish that was me. What I also loved was the accurate representation of how adult people meet friends when they're no longer in school. Sela was able to have a friend group from a book club. And I think that was amazing. Because a lot of times when you don't necessarily want to meet friends at like work, or you're no longer in school, you're no longer in college, you graduate, how are you able to meet people outside of, you know, going to the club or doing all these other things? There's other things that you can do. It's hard to make friends when you're an adult. But yeah, I thought that was really cool that she met most of her friends from like her little book club. 2025 dating culture has really given me the ick. It's just horrible. It's just freaking horrible. The bar is in hell. This book shows me that I need to up my game. I need to raise my standards. We settle for these emotionally unavailable people and people who don't even want to talk to you. They don't even want to be talking to y'all. And I'm talking about myself really, but they don't even want to be talking to y'all. Like, and we have Grayson here who decides to ask her, well, what are you reading right now? And he's like, oh, I'm gonna add that to my list. And so the next time that we see each other, we'll talk about that book. And then he bought the book because he wanted to meet her again. Wow. She just thought that he was being nice. That's why I was like, I have to close this book because this is getting too real. It's getting too real. Guys are not that nice. Men are not that nice. They're not gonna go and read the same book that you're reading. And then another thing that I loved about it was this author is showing how women are supposed, not even just women, but just people in general in relationships, how they're supposed to be treated, and how there's a certain level of observation that each person that is in a relationship should be giving the other person. You should be wanting to show that you're interested in that person without seeming too eager or not seeming like a simp or whatever, all those things. Just showing that you're listening, active listening skills, you know what I'm saying? And just taking pride and joy in being in each other's midst, you know what I'm saying? Selah has a lot of tattoos, and they're small little tattoos or whatever, and she has a lot of music tattoos, and he always, my neighbor hates me. Selah has a lot of music tattoos, and they all are different lyrics that come from her different songs, which that's another thing I really love about this book. She has a whole playlist set aside, and it's written within all of the chapters. You're able to go to Spotify or whatever streaming service you use and play that song, and it just like, oh, it just makes the whole experience when you're reading so much more immersive. Grayson notices all of these music tattoos that she has, and then he's like, well, what song is that from, or what song is that from? And she's like, oh, she just tells him, you know. It's a very eclectic taste as well. She's like, from Harry Styles to Steve Lacy to Ari Lennox, all of these people, and I'm like, wow, I love all these songs as well, you know. He's like, okay. Grayson keeps that in his back pocket, and when you read it, you'll understand why he keeps all these things, you know, in his cabeza, you know what I'm saying, cabeza. One of the things that I also really thought was portrayed very well in this book was the self-sabotage, especially if you have constantly been in a cycle of toxic relationships, whether it's romantic or platonic, whatever. A lot of times you can't see why people would love you. You feel like you're unlovable. You feel like no one is ever going to treat you right, and you deserve to be in that situation, and you don't. If you truly believe that, I want you to redirect yourself, and that is the hardest thing. I'm also doing it right now in therapy, you know what I'm saying? It's the hardest thing to do, to redirect yourself and to redirect those thoughts. That's why you surround yourself with people who help you redirect those thoughts, you know? And the way that our main character unfortunately was doing a lot of self-sabotaging, but her partner and her friends were like, held her accountable. You need people in life who hold you accountable. Sometimes those people who hold you accountable can be annoying, but they hold you accountable nevertheless, and you appreciate them.
You're welcome.
Cut that out. Thank you. They were like, yeah, girl, you gotta get it together. That boy loves you. He was so open with his feelings, and for a person that's had a failed relationship, he was divorced, he was so open and willing to be that support system for Selah, even though she wasn't even willing to really be there for herself. I was like, guys, I'm about to cry because I need this. When is it my turn? When is it my turn? I'm tired. Actually, I'm tired. I'm tired of these situationships. I'm tired of the friends with benefits. I'm tired of the oh, we just chilling, we just hanging out. No, you're not. You're a demon.
I invoke thee. I banish thee. Demons of the night.
But in this book, also, they kind of had a situationship. You know, don't catch feelings. But you know what happens? It's a book. If you are a girl out there and you feel like you don't feel good in your body, you don't like the image that you're giving out to the world right now, just know everybody feels that sometimes. Know that you are beautiful, and there are people out here in this world that will also think you are the most beautiful specimen on this planet. One of the things that I didn't like about it though was when it got to the climax of the book, we started to feel real rushed. Why are we going so fast? We were doing great. It was a slow burn, and I was like, ugh, I hate slow burn, but I actually really like this. But then when we got to the climax, and you know, feelings have been spilled, tea has been spilled. This one we're like, all right, we don't want this anymore. Let's hurry and wrap this up. Whoa. Let's enjoy the moment a little bit. There was a lot of misunderstandings between the couple. I found it very, very painful, and I think it's because it was just too real. I was like, close the book. But I opened it again because I had to finish. You know what I said? I had to finish. One of the things that I did want to point out about it was it had it has a dictionary.
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
That's what it's called! That's what it is! It's called a dictionary! But it's for those people who are disgusting, like you and me. We growing out here. We can talk about it. So the author, oh my god, Evelyn, girl, keep doing this because I love this. She has at the beginning of the book, before you even get into the actual, you know, reading material, she has a dictionary where it's outlined of all the chapters that have partial smut and smut in there. You want to skip ahead to it, or if you want to skip it entirely, which why would you do that? Why would you do that? But it's outlined for you. I was like, I've never had a book that did that. I mean, they may be out there, but I've never read one that's like that. So I was like, thank you. I appreciate that. And I looked forward to every chapter that was there. And one of the things that my overall theme that I truly, truly love, that it is okay to love your partner out loud. It's important that you are vocal about how you feel. There's too many times where you wish you would have said something, you wish you would have done something, and you regret it because you never said it. Love is one of your superpowers and the best thing in the world. And as selfish as it may seem, I really truly love when a black woman is loved out loud, because I don't think we're loved enough. Like, if your partner is not happy to be seen with you, is not happy to just be around you, then he's not the person for you. She's not the person for you. They are not the person for you. But you have to learn for yourself, is what I'm trying to say. I think this book was amazing. I think everybody should read it. I think this is her first one that she put out as well. I'm very excited to see what else she has in store. Her descriptions were great. It just made sense, and it's a very easy read. I would give this book, in my personal opinion, I would give this book 8.5. Because, like I said, at the end it was very rushed. I didn't think it had enough of the trials and tribulations of a relationship. I think they were having a lot of fun for the majority of the book. My personal opinion, it should include more of the relationship issues. They were put in situations and then they were like, oh, okay, it's fine. And they got compromised over it a lot. And I was like, I wish they were like, you know, hashing it out. I wish that we saw that side. We saw it towards the climax of the story. Then it was quickly resolved in like the next couple of chapters. I wish we were, you know, a little bit longer in the trenches a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I just loved it, and I love that most of the characters, like I said, were so diverse. We had Latino representation, we've had Asian representation, we had black representation. Almost everybody was in this, and it wasn't the fact that like they were trying to meet a quota. It was just the fact that they represented the real New York. Elevator pitch, would recommend, please read. If you're not into romance, this is not the book for you. If you're not into slow burn, it's not the book for you. I wasn't into slow burn, but I still gave it a chance. You know, sometimes you gotta give things a chance.